Well, it's a privilege for me this morning to be able to introduce to you my friend and brother in Christ, Ronnie Crocker. And I just want to tell you very briefly how I first met him. I guess it was around 2 years ago. Brent drug a group of us to a prison ministry workshop, and having been in law enforcement for over 30 years, I pretty much had set in my mind that people that were drunks and drug addicts, people that were in prison, was just reaping what they had sown. And I think some of you may have that same viewpoint today. And then I go to this workshop and I go hear this man give this talk. His name's Ronnie Crocker. And I'm looking at him, and here I see a man that his life was ruined because of an addiction. I see that he lost everything that he had. I see that he spent time in prison. But then I see him standing before me years after this. I see an individual that has, as 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17 tells us, if any man's in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things have passed away. And I look and see Brother Crocker, and I had to have a paradigm shift. That means I had to see the world in a different way. I'd been wrong all these years in my Christian walk, because God does not want anybody to be lost. He wants everybody to be saved, and He's patient with us. And I see him, he's not a sprinter. He's not just been clean for a short time. I see a man that's years later, and what's he doing? He's even reaching out to other people that are struggling with addictions. Now he's program manager at Project Rescue, still reaching out to other people struggling with addictions. He goes to preaching school and graduates it. And he's just doing an outstanding work. And I know personally, for me and my family, and I know several more of you in here that are familiar with him and his work, we think the world of him. We love him. We appreciate what he does, because it's wonderful to know that in the brotherhood you can turn to a fellow Christian for help. And so I want to introduce you to Brother Ronnie Crocker.
Well, it's good to be here. See so many. Appreciate the elders. Appreciate the work you're doing. Cocaine is a drug that makes you feel really good. I mean, you feel good. Cocaine is a drug that'll take you 1,000,000 miles up. It just makes you feel so good. But what goes up? Oh boy, those blues. They call it the cocaine blues. And I had it. It was, I think the late 70s, and I was living on the southeast coast of Florida in a motel right on the beach. You could walk out right your back door from the motel and walk right down to the beach. And it was one of those days that I spent just about all day shooting cocaine, injecting cocaine, mainlining it, putting it right into my blood system. All day, getting the money, doing the drug, going and get more money, doing the drug. And it was the end of the night. I was worn out. Usually I'd have a handful of pills to take, which would knock me out and start over the next day. I didn't have any pills this night. And I started feeling bad and terrible and thinking about my whole life. I just wanted to end it all. Just end it all. So I decided I was just going to walk out in that beach, walk out into that water as far as I could, and it was a moonlit. I think it was a full moon that night. I kicked off my shoes. I don't know why I kicked off my shoes, but I'm walking out into the water. Just take me. I'm mad. Don't know God, but mad at Him. Just take me. I'm sick and tired of my life. And I'm walking out. The waves are starting to hit me in the knees. And I'm walking out crying, just crying and shaking my fist up to God. Just take me. I just want to end it all. I get about up to my waist, and the waves are even starting to hit me in the face now. And I'm crying and I'm screaming out to God, and I'm getting out. It's water's about up to my chest. And I'm, just take me, just take me. All of a sudden the thought hit me, what if He sends a shark? I swam in. I'm on my tippy toes trying to get in. Thought a shark was going to get me right on the heel. Got back in, I think, took a shower and went to bed. Oh, we're talking about, and I know that was funny and crazy and stupid, and there were other times, but we just wanted to spend a little time this morning on talking about the despair of addiction.